The time has come, officially and finally. I've been waiting all winter long for this moment to arrive. We are headed down to do some trout fishing, and it's some of the most high energy types of fishing that almost every angler around the world witnesses and experiences. Today we're going down and we're going to be trying 3 different types of rigs. Hopefully we get a trout on one of them. Now today's goal, we're trying to get a catch, clean, and cook video. So hopefully that turns out pretty nicely. And as we get down to our location, I will show you what we will be throwing. So I just walked down the trail here and I just found my nice little private section of the creek. Way down that way, everybody gathers and it's just a madhouse. Everybody wants to conform or converge on this one spot. So I was walking along and I found a nice big school of trout right up here. So we're going to try up here. Hopefully we get some luck. I'm going to still use the same 3 lures, the silver rooster tail, the power bait, and then the marabou jig. Hopefully that gets us some luck. Alright, so the marabou jig is sparking some interest, but I'm going to switch over real quick to the power bait, see what that does. I got some really nice follows, so that's a really good sign. So maybe if I just launch the power bait right in front of the school, or right in the middle of the school, maybe we'll get a nice strike here. There's a big pool of them here, big school. There we go. There we go. There's one. Let me get my net here. Come on, Rainbow. There you go. Alright, I'm going to move over this way so I don't scare off the pod. Or the school. I keep calling it a pod. Nice Rainbow. Alright guys, give me 1 minute here. So it's nice to get the first fish of the season. Nice size rainbow, and I just dealt with him humanely because he is going on the frying pan tonight, so I just took care of him nice and humane. He didn't feel a thing, I promise. And the school is still there, so exactly what I wanted to do where I moved away didn't scare them off. Now the limit here in Delaware is 6. You can get 6 trout per fisherman. However, I think this year I'm only really going to stick with 3 because I catch so much, or I get so many fillets with 6 fish that I eventually just throughout the spring and early summer, I just don't eat it all. So I don't want to waste all of the fish. You know, I don't want to kill something if I don't have to. You know what I mean? I don't want to waste the meat. So I'm just going to try to get 3 if I can, and then we'll call it a day. But that was a beautiful big size rainbow on the power bait. Power bait seems to be the meal ticket sometimes when everything else just isn't working. Same with night crawlers. If you throw night crawlers right in front of their face, that usually does the trick too. Rooster tails, marabou jigs, they're nice, they're not bad, They can be extremely tricky, but power bait seems to do most of the damage for catching the trout. At first, I thought I was stuck on the rock, and then all of a sudden, it just started pulling back, which, good sign. Very good sign. Oh, there you go. Oh, he had it. He had it. All right, let me let them chill out a little bit. Because the more, since I'm in their school, the more I start taking them away, getting really feisty with it, what's going to happen is the school is either going to disperse or they're going to move on. So just got to give it a minute, let them kind of cool down and forget what just happened, and then you just throw the power bait right back in the middle of them. There. Oh, damn, and he went right back for the power bait even when the power bait came off the hook, so that's a good sign. So I think what I'm going to do, just slightly smaller dough ball this time. Really let that hook get exposed. And then we'll go on from there. But it's funny in Delaware when you go trout fishing, because you have everybody who just goes to the same spot and nobody seems to venture off and explore their own, you know, find their own territory. They just kind of stick around in the same spot, almost like how brown bears and grizzly bears, how they go at the edge of waterfalls and they're looking for the trout, or they're looking for the salmon, and they just hang out there and they just wait for that fish to jump, and then they get pissed off because you have one guy who's catching them, and then you have every other fisherman who starts moving their way in, overcrowding the spot, and it could be aggravating. That's why I started moving down, and I found this spot just completely by accident. And I got it all to myself. I'll take that. And what's really nice, and I reference my brother a lot. I went to go see him over the winter time. Well, actually, yeah, over the winter time. And every time we go see one another, it's a great experience. In the summer, we went whitewater rafting, and when we got some nice hamburgers and stuff, and right along the beach, or right along the shoreline pretty much, you know, we had a nice little barbecue. It was such a fun time. So one of my plans for this year is to do the same thing that we did but with trout. So probably the next time I come down, I don't have the gear to do it today, so the next time I come down, right along the shoreline somewhere, we're going to fry up our catch, and it's going to be a magical time. There you go. Number 2. Get my net. Into the net we go. And back over, and he swallowed the crap out of this, so I gotta get my pliers anyway. Okay. Going on for fish number 3. So you may be wondering, what are you using for your gear? What's your setup? Well, I'm using a number 8 size hook, and I'm on a medium heavy ugly stick rod. A lot of people like to buy the ultralight rods. You don't need to. That all depends on what your lure setup is going to be. I've found rooster tails, marabou jigs, and then power bait, they all work on a normal fishing rod that you would use for bass. So that's my setup. I love it. It's really simple and it's really effective. Whatever you guys want to use, make sure it fits your style. Some people, they just kind of copycat off of one another. Make sure you are using something that's going to be comfortable for you. It is nice to see that they are eating power bait. And I'll show you what I'm using right now. I am using a orange, yellow, and green power bait with a little bit of glitter. It seems to be doing the trick. I had the last location I was at, I had a little bit of, some follows here and there, but I think right now this seems to be doing the trick. And we're hung up on the rocks, so I gotta move carefully, quietly, slowly, because I don't want to scare them away. I think there's one. Yep. There's number 3. Look at that. There's my net. There we go, into the net. I'll move back over to my spot. So I changed my mind because that's going rather quick. I'm going to go for 4. And after I get the 4th one, then we will call it a day. And then I will show you the catch, clean, and cook of rainbow trout and some really, really nice recipes for these fish. I think you're going to enjoy it. Whew. It's definitely a colder one. I mean, yesterday was opening day of trout season and it's mighty cold today. Thankfully the wind isn't really howling like it used to, but there's number 4. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful fish. Let me get my net. Into the net we go. That wasn't bad. So we started off with just literally doing rooster tails, marabou jigs, and then power bait here and there, and I was not getting anything. I was barely even seeing anything. So I decided to move upstream, and we got our 4 fish for lunch. So next time I see you, we're going to be in the kitchen preparing our fillet. Okay, so now we're at the filleting table, and I want to show you how I fillet my trout. And what I do, and it always gets botched up every time, but I'd like to stick the blade right in between where the rib cage and the meat on the side of the fish, on the fillet meat. And what I do is I just work my way down, just kind of separating the rib cage from the meat, and I just cut straight down with a nice sharp knife, and that gets me my nice fillet started. And then what I'm going to do now is remove the fillet part, and then we'll go on to the cooking step. Okay, so since these are small fillets, they're going to cook rather fast. So what I'm going to do, each one I'm just going to give them a nice thing of butter, give them a nice little rub down. Now you could probably just melt the butter in a whole separate jar, but this is okay for now. What I'll do is put a couple on each one, each fillet. So that way it kind of enhances some flavor. And the next thing that we'll do, a little bit of pepper, not a whole lot. And then just sprinkle it with some parsley flakes. Same thing, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Same deal, just enhancing the flavor. And then once that cooks a little bit, then we will catch in with you again. So I'm not the absolute best filleter, but here's how it turned out after being in the frying pan. So, if you guys like today's video, do stick around for the next one. What I'm planning on doing is a catch, clean, and cook on the shoreline, so you do not want to miss out on that one. Until next time, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.